Quiet Place Day One is the new movie by Michael Sarnoski. So this is the prequel to the 2018 and 2021 films. Remember these? They were huge hits. You probably do. This franchise is one of those where I feel no ways about, but when I go and see these movies while they're on, I tend to enjoy them. This prequel was first announced in 2020 with Jeff Nichols attached to write and direct. Funny how I just reviewed The Bike Riders the other day. Unfortunately, he dropped out due to creative differences. And instead they brought in indie filmmaker Michael Sarnoski, who just got off the movie Pig, to write and direct this movie. This new film follows Sam. She is a cancer patient who lives in hospice. She's played by Lupita Nyong'o. Her hospice coordinator, played by Alex Wolff, invites her to the city to see this play, and shortly after, well, the events happen. For what it's worth, this was always a pretty good idea for a movie to have a prequel about these weird monsters, how they are blind, but they can hear everything, even like a mouse run around. It's also pretty great to see Lupita Nyong'o take on another genre role. She was really good on movies like Us and Little Monsters. She's great for horror. And while, of course, the Quiet Place franchise is more like action movies than they are horror, but still, the previous entries proved that they could bring on some heavy tension. I also thought having a cancer patient as the main perspective in such turmoil was an interesting idea. Unfortunately, that's pretty much like all the nice things I could say about this movie because, God, man, this didn't work. This movie leans on its predecessors with no care in the world. Any of these tension building moments we have seen before on the previous movies and done better as well. And the CGI here, we gotta draw the line somewhere when it comes to horror, because I think now we're being treated by so much great practical effects coming back, and then we see a movie like this, a big budget movie as well, and wow, these monsters look very PS4. There's a couple instances where the monster's teeth get really close to the screen, and also their face is shown off, and it looks really cool. But once again, we have seen these models before. There are no different variations of these monsters that we have not seen already. And I know this is a prequel, but it's 4 years after the last one. Why regress this much? And not just the monsters are CG, but all the explosions and everything. Just, this movie has a very sanitized look to it. The streets of New York clearly look like a set. I couldn't help but to think of a movie like District 9. Not just for the very good CGI that is over a decade old. The way that they told an origin story of a different life form landing on Earth, it felt so new. I also thought of 28 Days Later, with that taking place in an empty city, but it felt way more on location. Performance wise, Lupita's quite good. Joseph Quinn, I don't know where I've seen this guy. I've heard his name so many different times, I can't think of any other movie I've seen him in. Anybody could have done this. However, Alex Wolff, he did great. He played a character far more adult than I've seen him in, and he blended in really well. He disappeared in this role, so good on him. The ending of this movie, I'm not going to spoil anything, but audiences deserve better than this. Fans deserve better than this, which, I went to the fan event screening for this, which I didn't know that A Quiet Place had a fan base, but almost a 4-year wait. And I know A Quiet Place is more of a family-friendly outing, but still, I can't help but to think of all these other media properties have done everything already and so much better, including the first 2 movies. And this movie wraps up with a generic voiceover like I've seen this before so many different times. It didn't overstay its welcome. It is about 90 minutes like the others, but wow, is this disappointing? Is this just toothless, sanitized? Thank goodness we have Alien Romulus coming out very soon, because We need sci-fi horror in the mainstream, and we need it done better than this, please. 5.3, A Quiet Place Day 1 is now playing in theaters everywhere. It's released by Paramount Pictures. Thank you so much for watching.